He pulled out a pistol and shot Francisco Rafael in the head and chest. As he fell to the
Darin,
floor,
inahan
the
mo
gunman
yan,
fired
tingin mo,
more
Darin.
shots before escaping through a back door to a black SUV waiting outside. Guests panicked, running for cover under tables or fleeing into the night. The motive was never fully clear. Authorities suggested it may have been revenge over old debts or rivalries, possibly tied to the Sinaloa cartel or the Beltran-Leyva cartel. Some believed he had angered El Chapo by tipping off authorities about his presence in Los Cabos the year before. What made the case even more mysterious was that security at the party was unusually low, and many guests left before police could question them, leaving little evidence. El Lascano. Heriberto Lascano was a former soldier who defected from the Mexican army and helped create Los Zetas, the armed wing of the Gulf Cartel that later broke away and became one of the most violent criminal groups in the country, as we mentioned in Tony Tormenta's section. By the late 2000s, he was one of Mexico's most wanted men, so much so that the U.S. government offered a $5 million reward for him, while Mexico added another $2 million. His end came on October 7, 2012, when, acting on a civilian tip about armed men at a baseball game, Mexican Marines moved in. Lascano and a bodyguard opened fire from a white van, starting a shootout that killed both of them and one Marine. Fingerprint tests confirmed the dead man was Lascano, making him the most powerful cartel boss killed since Mexico's drug war began in 2006. But the story didn't end there. His body was taken to a funeral home in Sabinas, Coahuila, and before officials could make the news public, a convoy of masked gunmen stormed the building, overpowered staff, and stole Lascano's corpse. That's because in the Zetas' paramilitary culture, no man was to be left behind. His body has never been recovered. Lascano's death cleared the way for Miguel Trevino to become the uncontested leader of Los Zetas, though he was captured less than a year later in 2013. This created an opening for rivals like El Chapo and the Sinaloa cartel, who could now more easily expand into Zetas territory. Griselda Blanco Restrepo, known as the godmother of cocaine, was one of the most central figures in the violent Miami drug wars of the 1970s and 1980s. From an early age, she was involved in crime. Stories claim that as a child she kidnapped and even killed, and by her teenage years she was already committing theft and fraud before moving into drug trafficking. At its peak, her empire was said to bring in $80 million a month, but Blanco was remembered more for her violence. She ordered hundreds of killings, including public massacres, and she was credited with popularizing motorcycle drive-by shootings that became a cartel trademark. Not even her family was safe, as she allegedly ordered the murder of her first husband, personally shot her second husband Alberto Bravo during an argument, and had her third husband killed after a custody dispute over their son, Michael Corleone Blanco, whom she had named after the character from The Godfather. In 1985, she was arrested in California by the DEA and released early in 2004 for health reasons and deported back to Colombia. In her later years, she was said to have turned to religion and lived as a born-again Christian. But on September 3, 2012, at the age of 69, while she was leaving a butcher shop in Medellin, a man on a motorcycle shot her twice in the head. She was basically killed in the same style of assassination she had once popularized in Miami. El Chepe. On January 11, 1996, El Chepe, whose real name was Jose Santa Cruz Londoño, had escaped from the La Picota prison in Bogotá. He was one of the founding leaders of the Cali cartel, and unlike the Medellin cartel under Pablo Escobar, which fought openly with bombings and assassinations, Cali used a quieter approach with corruption and bribery. This seemed to work, since at its peak, the cartel supplied up to 80% of the cocaine in the world. But after Escobar's death in 1993, all eyes turned to Cali. This was made worse by the bloody war with the Norte del Valle cartel that we previously mentioned. Its leaders, together with paramilitary commander Carlos Castaño and corrupt police colonel Danilo Gonzalez, agreed that Chepe had to die. They arranged an ambush disguised as a police checkpoint, and El Chepe was shot dead on the spot. Nacho. Ignacio Coronel Villarreal, also known as Nacho Coronel, or the King of Crystal, for his domination of methamphetamine production and trafficking, was one of the most wanted men by the U.S. and Mexican government by the early 2000s. He rose to power in the 1980s with the Juarez cartel under Amado Carrillo Fuentes, but after his death, he helped strengthen the Sinaloa cartel alongside El Chapo. His niece, Emma Coronel Aispuro, later became widely known as the wife of El Chapo, but he's mostly known for his 2010 retaliation, when, after his young son Alejandro was kidnapped and murdered by gunmen linked to Los Zetas, he sent more than 100 men to kill 14 people only days later. On July 29, 2010, Mexican soldiers tracked him to a luxury home in Zapopan. When troops stormed the property, he resisted. In the firefight, he killed one soldier and wounded another before being fatally shot in the head. Inside the house, soldiers seized jewelry, luxury watches, rifles, grenades, 3 vehicles, and about $7 million in cash. Pablo Escobar. It was the afternoon of December 2nd, 1993, and Pablo Escobar was hiding in a modest house in a Medellin neighborhood. For more than a year, he had been on the run after escaping from his private prison, La Catedral, where he had lived in comfort and continued his criminal operations even while locked up. The Colombian government, with support from the United States, had been hunting him nonstop, and his rivals in the Cali cartel also wanted him dead. His actions brought even more attention towards him, like when he bombed Avianca Flight 203 in an attempt to kill a presidential candidate, Cesar Gaviria, but instead killed more than 100 innocent people. Colombian Special Forces, using U.S. technology that tracked a phone call he made to his family, found him in Medellin. As police closed in, Escobar tried to escape across the rooftops with his bodyguard, but a gunfight broke out. Bullets hit him in the torso and legs, but the shot that finished it struck his head. Some believe the police fired him, while others think Escobar shot himself. His death marks the fall of the Medellin cartel, and more than 25,000 people attended his funeral. If you like this video, subscribe for similar ones, or join my Discord to suggest another. October 10th. This video is sponsored by Work.
Hello.
Paul Walker.
I have no idea, Alvin. This is I have no idea, Alvin. Good job, alright? You are not cooperating on this, not following the words we are trying you with. It's going to be worse than here. That's one of 4 scammers will happen today. So we put a virus on the computer. So he's typing stuff up here, and it's just being random. Your memory then. Here's what everyone knows. You're not sitting in Big House Wall Center. You're out of it. We are definitely doing something like that. And today, track down the house for each of those 4 scammers a week. Let's get to it. Okay. And this is the first time here.
Delicious. Right hands. Use my hands. Very spicy, like this. Done.
So to simplify, but the end is kind of like a poison. As soon as this PayPal scammer touches it, he's done. You get access to the machine. It's got access to it.
Then turmeric. Turmeric tea.
sure what the scammer is talking about here, but his confusion might have something to do with the fact that he's fighting with a scammer.
Hello, David Raniro. And JS. Ay. Ay, thank you.
But even though he hung up here, we still got what we want. Let's ask the shot. Kolkata, West Bengal, India. They are right here in this Avinash
Thank you for watching to my vlog. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.